Shalom, all praise to Yahweh, Bashem Yahushua, Bashem Harakah Kadash. Double honors to the elder apostles, the great millstone that rule well. Shalom to the hopeful elect, brothers doing work sincere in truth. Just kind of meditating. We had, a guy come up at camp, and he was, you know, he obviously looked like, a white English boy, but he seemed sincere when he came up. Obviously, just, he kind of saw the sign, was intrigued. His spirit was on him to inquire. So he did. And, as we're breaking it down, we got into the scriptures, like he even pulled the Bible out and that as well. And then, was following after what man was saying. He was inquiring, which was, was beautiful to see. Because he might be an Israelite, he might not. We ain't going to know. The angel's going to have to discern that. But, it's having that inquiry, into the word. That's a beautiful thing. Because that's the thing is in the midst of the times we're in now. It's funny, like as far as for us, we see political turmoil, we see the wars kicking off, we see the MOTB, in the works, being fully implemented into the world. People receiving it, utilizing it, it being presented as a miracle, and then, various crises wherein, things can be amped up. And then for us, it's that's a fulfillment of, words that came thousands of years before. We're seeing it as, for what it is. But for people in the world, it's not always that. And for someone to inquire and be like, okay, hold on, what these guys talking about sounds like, these guys are saying something. Because that's as well. It's like even a week before, it was when I was getting into talking about Iran and the attack the state of Israel did on them. There was someone else that stopped by and it was like okay, inspired something in your spirit. And that's really how those are the elect really are gonna be. They're gonna inquire. They're gonna go into these things. They're gonna explore and then come into this thing. And that's a beautiful thing. But then for most people in the world, they've kind of had that damper put on them. Especially among Jake, there's the bulk of Jake ain't gonna get. They could walk by every week, by Brothers Camp, Ham, Brothers going into all kinds of topics, breaking things down, which might even give them insight into their life, understanding of like, okay, that's why shit's fucked up. But then, they ain't gonna be able to get. And then, even worse for them, they ain't gonna be able to seek it. Amos 8 and 11, it says, behold, the days come, saith the Most High Power, that will send a famine in the land, not a famine of bread, nor thirst for water, but of hearing the words of the Lord Yahweh. Yeah, and that's gonna be where it intensifies. Because why? That's the thing with the beauty of this word. It's around, but not for all time. It's not just a thing where you can, be like, okay, the chariots have just been visualized. You're like, okay, yeah, I'm gonna get it now. You were eating a pork chop. You got the MOTB, but it's just like, okay, yeah, okay, I'm gonna repent now. Now it's it's not within your time frame. It's within time frame of Yahweh Shem Yahshua Shem Kadash, where he's kind of appointed a time where up until when men will be fishful, but then past a certain point, it's gonna then go to hunting. And that's the thing is, Amos 3, no, Amos 3, what was it? 1 Samuel 3 and 1, I read this as, and the child Samuel ministered unto the Lord Yahweh before Eli, and the word of the Lord Yahweh was precious in those days. There was no open vision. And yeah, there was a point in time where there was no open vision, where it wasn't as easy to inquire, of things that were going down. But now we're in a time where that's been completely opened up. Was it Daniel 12, where it says what? Lo Daniel, shut up the Daniel 12 and 4, I believe, shut up the words and seal the book unto the time of the end. People run to and fro, and knowledge will be increased. Now we're in a time where knowledge has been increased. All kinds of things within the book are being broken down, and now in terms where they can be understood, by a layman in the modern age. When you say ICBM, people are going to be aware because that's something that now there's just something to put to mind. In the ancient world, you would have said that it would have been referred to in allegory and metaphor in various different ways that you can't in a modern day just put as a one-to-one. That's part of the mystifying way in which the scriptures have been put together. So everyone can't just look and be like, oh, okay, that's just that. It doesn't just say, America's gonna be nuked. It's talking about Babylon the Great. It's talking about the army. It's talking about how they're gonna climb up on the wall. It says fire go before them and after them. There's ways these things are described by which it's not easy to receive. You require someone to teach you. You need someone to guide you to kind of understand, okay, that's what that's talking about, to break it down to you and make it edible. And then as such, because of that, to make it edible. And as such, what? Because of that, that's why it's he's someone to, present that to you. Because what's it, Isaiah 62:6, I have set watchmen upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace day nor night. Ye that make mention of the Lord Yahweh, keep not silence. And yeah, I've set watchmen upon their walls. There's been men that have been appointed and set as watchmen to watch and warn for Israel. When you have those fortified cities, you have the wall, you might have like a fire, you might have archers, men that would have been in like watchtowers and whatnot, and they would have cycled through the guard to where you would have someone might be on guard for like 3-6 hours or whatever, might be on guard throughout the whole night, and then they're watching for threats, for dangers, to forewarn the people. If they spot like, okay, there's an enemy troop coming, or there might be some kind of flood overflowing the waters or something. There could be anything that will require action for people. They'll then be like, okay, blow the horn and draw attention to it. And that's their role. It says what? Keep not silence. They're basically there to make a noise. And that's the same thing we're doing with these prophecies. Us going out, doing these videos, doing this labor, is what? It's all pushing that, what's it called, making people aware, really, for the elect, rousing them, from their stupor, from their sleep, to be aware, you got a role to play, and something's popping off in the midst, man. Keep not silent, and give him no rest to establish until we make Jerusalem a praise in the earth. And yeah, that's what we're trying to achieve. That's the goal. So okay, yeah. Keep watch. Don't hold your tongue till Jerusalem's been established, made a praise of the earth. Then Isaiah 55:6, seek ye the Lord Yahweh while he may be found, call ye upon him while he is near. And that's the key of it. It's whilst he may be found, it's not a guarantee. It's not always going to be around. And that's kind of the beauty of it as well. Is that it's ain't just going to be out prophesying forever. The things being spoken of are going to come to pass, within their time. And they're going to be fulfilled. And then, it's beautiful for us because why? We know what lies beyond these prophecies, beyond, these things going down, people are like, oh no, it's gonna be the end of the world. What are we gonna do? There's gonna be no internet. There's gonna be no TikTok. There's gonna be no footy. That's what their minds kind of locked in on. But then, the reality of it is what? Is, the kingdom of heaven lies after it. And you ain't gonna be thinking about Arsenal's place on the ladder. You ain't gonna be thinking about no Tottenham Hotspur. Because why? Those things are of a certain time, a certain age. And that's all, gonna be done away with. That's an aspect of Esau's system. That's something, that's putting glory on him. But it's all gonna be about what? Yahweh Shai, Yahweh Shai. John 10:27, it says, my sheep hear my voice, and I know them, and they follow me. And I give them eternal life, and they shall never perish, neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand. And yeah, that's why it's like, if this is something you're an aspect of, you're going to feel convicted in the spirit. To where it's like you stumble upon it, you're just thinking like, damn, there's no way. I can't, I need some form of understanding to try and get down to what these men are getting into. And that's really the beauty of it. Because with, it's that's why you see someone with that inquisitive spirit. With, okay, it's like, what are you guys talking about? What's going on? And not just like, why are you guys out here? Why are you wearing dresses? Like, what's going on? That carnal kind of approach is something where they're looking at things spiritually. Like, okay, there might be more going on to this. Why would these guys be out here? That's really a thing people have to think. They might just think, oh, these guys are just crazy to grow up in. They might think, oh, it's like Mormons or what's the other one, Amish, where it's like they might have just grown up in a locked off community where they don't really interact with people from outside. But even more than that, it's like, man, we're in the world. Man, we're doing the same things that other people are doing, but then what coming out of that? That's even more powerful to where you have to be like, damn, that's mystifying. Like, what went down there? How'd that come together? But as Yahushua said, it says, neither shall any man pluck them out of my hand. So if you're of the elect, there's no way, okay, Esau's going to be able to grab you up, or Islam, or whatever, some other madness. You're going to be like, nah, I'm down with Buddha. You ain't going to be able to go down. You're drawn into your role, man. Because Matthew 13:9, it says, what? Who hath ears to hear, let him hear. And the disciples came and said unto him, why speakest thou unto them in parables? He answered and said unto them, because it is given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it's not given. And that's really the, where the call comes in. Because why? It's given unto you to know the mysteries of the kingdom of heaven, but to them it's not given. It's only given to a small number. And then that's where they're going to have that kind of spark, that, ignition. They're going to have that draw to this word. And that's what, it's not just a thing where, it's just chance, coincidence or whatever. You might have tripped over, you might have just tied your shoelace and looked to the left and be like, what are you guys doing there? And even, those things happening. It says, man's goings of the Lord. Like whilst you're in the slumber, you get your instructions sealed, man. So even that's something that, you're guided to do for what? For a purpose. Finish on this. Ecclesiastes 12:1, it says, what? Remember now thy Creator in the days of thy youth, while the evil days come not, nor the years draw nigh, when thou shalt say, I have no pleasure in them. And yeah, that's really the core of it. Remember that Creator in the days of thy youth. Something where, when you're a young man, you want to get drawn in to this office, you know, you get drawn in up in age. And then primarily it's young men, the men that grow old, you know, within this to then, you know, become, you know, men of age through the process of being in this word. It says, "What while the sun or the light or the moon or the stars be not darkened, nor the clouds return with the rain." So yeah, when that wisdom, knowledge, and understanding is not cut off, and then what? In the day when the keepers of the house shall tremble, and the strong men shall bow themselves, and the grinders cease because they are few, and those that look at the windows be darkened, and the doors shall be shut in the streets, when the sound of the grinding is low, and he shall rise up at the voice of the bird, and all the daughters of music shall be brought low. So it's you know, before the calamity, before them crises, before them hard times hits, that's when you're meant to be like, let me come in here, you know, what these men are saying. Let me deal with what's going down with the men of the Lord. And that's a mark of wisdom to then be like, okay, you know what? It's like, what's going down? This ain't normal. Like, what's leading to this? Because there'll be signs in the build-up. Just that's why you can go to any you know, historical event you go to the Wikipedia page or whatever. You go to the, you know, historical accounts on it. Then they'll talk about, you know, the inciting incidents of things that built up to what happens, you know, down the line. It's like a movie. You have Act 1 where you kind of have the premise, the setup, where they're setting, building the case, the board, to then be like, okay, this is how these events are going to go down. This is how these characters are going to be drawn into it. And this is going to be the motivations for everyone. The things that, you know, you're seeing are meant to be a motivation to be like, okay, put fire in you to be like, damn, what's going on? And then you see, you know, you're drawn to see the men. It's meant to be like, damn, okay, let me jump on that. And that's really what, you know, it was beautiful because that's what the guy did. It's just like, damn, it's you know, it's good to see, and it really shows that this thing, you know, it's all in the spirit, man. It's, you know, fire's got to be put on you to be like, okay, even be able to engage with the prophets, because that's something that's, you know, beyond most people. They might just see what you're doing, you break it down, and be like, okay, and they just kind of walk off. They would glaze like they're thinking like, these idiots. But hey, that's the beauty, to then have it, you know, feel like, oh, hold on, you know, these guys have got something about them, they've got something to say. But yeah, I'll leave it there. Shalom, shalom.